What's up, everybody, and welcome back into the next edition of the Sackcess podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my main man, Stanley McClover Lucci, in the building to break down the art of the sack. And we had a lot of sacks in Week 11, and a lot of star pass rushers got home. So plenty to break
Yes,
down. Lucci, how you doing today?
man, I'm blessed, Anthony. I'm great. I'm blessed, man. It's good to be here with you again for our third episode. We doing our thing. We consistent on every Wednesday. They will be dropping the update for the sack leaders this week, so we'll get to that later on in the show. But man, I'm happy to be here. A great day again. A lot of sacks this weekend for a guy like me and Anthony. This is a great weekend for us. So we like to just give guys their flowers on this channel and tell you who's doing it and doing it good on Sundays.
That's right. And there were, like you said, a lot of sacks this past week. And we're going to go through the multi-sack guys, including one of those former All-Pros, one of those best players at the position, Micah Parsons, had a sack and a half. Now with the
Salute.
Green Bay Packers against the New York Giants, he had a great game. He was all over the field making plays, and he ended up with a sack and a half this week.
He was. Speaking on, he ain't on my screen right now. That's crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, Michael's always been a force, man. Michael's a real force at edge. He's very, very, very explosive and fast. I mean, this guy runs like a running back at defensive end. He really, his closing speed is cheetah like for real. If you look at him and you look at how a cheetah close in on something, about the same. You see about the same thing out of this guy. So I love Michael Parsons' game, man. He's gonna disrupt the game if you give him time. He will, and I just felt like on that play with Jameis, that clock was just ticking, and I'm like, oh, it's going can't hold the ball that long with the Michael Parsons on the field. So, shouts out to you, Michael Parsons, being successful with the 1.5. Man, I know you wanted that 2-piece, but 1.5 will get you right where you need to be, brother. Good job on being successful.
that's right. Yeah, Micah, man, he is a freak athlete. Like when you look at
Yeah,
that edge position, there's a few guys that stand in that upper class in terms of
yeah,
athleticism. One of them, Spider. We'll get to him in a minute. But Micah Parsons, I mean, he's just crazy. The 40 that
he
he
is,
ran
bro.
coming out of the draft, man, everything, and it just shows up every Sunday. The guy is
And you can
relentless.
tell
And
he's strong, bro. He's a
mhm,
lower body, powerful guy. I mean, to run that fast, you got to be powerful. But then to move furniture, like I like to call it, moving those linemen like he do, he's very strong in the lower bottom. So that
mhm.
you have to have that to be a complete defensive end in the National Football League to make plays like that. To be explosive, you got to have that strength in the lower body. So another shouts out to Michael Parsons on the strength. I know y'all don't hear that a lot about him, but he's a very strong, powerful kid.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people talk about the speed, but that strength, and it's that combination to have both of those things. That's what
And
makes
that
it
shit is
special.
dangerous. That is
Mhm.
dangerous. It give any offensive tackle or offensive coordinator nightmares.
Yep. And we're going to move to our next guy on the list who had a sack and a half. This is Arden Key for the Tennessee Titans. One of the sacks that he had was big time because it came on 3rd and 5 and it knocked
Wow.
the Houston Texans out of field goal range. So he took points
Wow.
directly off the board with one of those sacks this week. So Arden Key, big shout out to him.
That's how big sacks are, man. They can change the game. That's why we decided to do this show and kind of like focus on the sacks because it can change the game. It can change the momentum. It can change the field position. It can do a lot to cause your team to lose momentum and possibly lose the game. So R and Key is another DN that I love coming out of LSU. I love R and Key coming out. R and Key was one of those guys that I looked at and I felt like he had that twitch. I felt like he was a great shaking baker, what I call him. He gets you off your feet, man. He makes linemen move their feet, and that's one thing that linemen hate to move their feet. He's very fast. He's just like quiet, but he's very fast. He's very athletic. He can do any move in the tool book. If you watch him, he can work any move. Any move he can work. And he's been in this league for a while. Quietly, he's been very productive in this league. And I'm proud to hear Arden Key is still doing his thing, man. Good job being successful, Arden. That 1.5 is a great look for you, brother.
100%. And I like that you mentioned how he can get those offensive linemen moving, get them off balance a little bit with his speed. That's exactly
Hmm.
what happened on that sack. You'll see that offensive lineman starts moving those feet, but then Arden Key switched up on him, put his hands right on his chest, bull rushed him, sat the man down, and got the
Yes,
sack. It was a
sir. Yes,
sick
sir.
rep. All power on that one, but set up with that speed from earlier in the game that you were
Yes, sir.
mentioning. and that's the
That's how
art of
you
the sack
become a
right there.
great. That's the art of the set. You took it out of my mouth, Anthony. But it's set up that way. It's never just by chance. Sometimes it is. Sometimes guys get lucky. But if you do this more than once, you set it up like that. It's set up for that. And we've been doing it for so long, playing this position that it's a cat and mouse game. It's a thinking man game. It's like playing poker. You got to think in this game. You can't just rush the passer. You have to have a plan. So good job, Ari Kia, having a plan and working your move and becoming successful.
That's right. In that same game on the other sideline, other team, Daniil Hunter also had a sack and a half. One of them coming up big in the fourth quarter of that game to change the game and help the Texans close it out. Daniil Hunter now has, let me double check this stat. He has 5 sacks in his last 2 games combined. He had three
Going
and a half the week
crazy.
prior. Veteran, like you said last week when we were breaking him down, that shake and bake Sierra taking those offensive linemen. I'm learning your phrases.
You learning it, baby.
I'm learning it, man. Daniil
Uh-huh.
Hunter, one of the veterans, just one of the best in the game.
OG heating up. That's all I can tell y'all. OG is heating up. He's like fine wine. Like I tell everybody, like, don't think that when you get old in this league, they like to call it old, that you washed up. No, old in the league is priceless because it's experience. He know how to get to the quarterback. He know what moves work to get there, and he got the athletic ability to actually do it. So that's what I like about OG. We gonna call him OG on this channel because he earned that. He's an OG. He's playing like a young player, but he's been around for a minute. And I really love his game and how he gets those offensive linemen off their plane by moving their feet. And his hand technician is amazing. His footwork is amazing, and he's a dog. What is there not to like about Daniil? And he's an OG. No, he's around in my time, so I respect him. He's still doing his thing out there. Great job of being successful, OG.
Yes, sir.
Continuing to be successful. And you've been on this
Hmm.
channel since we started it. So
That's
let's
right.
salute.
Yep, he's going to be another guy who finishes the season with double digits, and I think that'll be. I can't even count how many times he's done that in his career.
I
Daniil
think it's
Hunter,
almost every year, bro. It's almost like
almost.
automatic. Yeah. If
Hmm.
we was to look at the stats, pretty sure he probably only came up short maybe 1 or 2 years. And that's like
Right.
at 8 and 9. He's been
Yeah.
a bad boy, bro, from day one. So
Straight up.
I like him, and he's always on our channel. So that means he doing what he's supposed to be doing, getting to
That's
that
right.
quarterback.
For sure. Now moving to the next guy who had 1.5 sacks. We're not at the 2 pieces just yet, but another 1.5. Quinnen Williams, new member of the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to be our underdog
Nice.
of the week because he doesn't really get looked at as an elite pass rusher. Nobody talks about him. He didn't have a lot of sack production earlier in the year with the New York Jets, but he had 1.5 sacks in this latest game with the Dallas Cowboys. That's more sacks than he had all season prior in those 10
Wow.
games with the New York Jets. So new
Wow.
home for him, change of environment, helping him out, and now we're seeing the best version of Quinnen Williams.
Man, good underdog of the week. And I'm gonna say why, man. Quentin Williams, I watched that game. I actually watched him. That boy was disruptive, man. He was up the middle at the end. I mean, he was getting to the quarterback, applying pressure, stopping the run. It looked like Jerry Jones made a good decision on what he did. I can tell you that. Those 2 tackles over there are really penetrating that for their defense. They're playing big boy ball over there. And Quentin Williams just came and been a big asset to their D line. And the way he was coming off that ball, man, and rushing the passer, it really opened my eyes and showed me that this guy, he's a pass rushing defensive tackle outside of stopping the run. Now he does them both, and he's effective, and he's very very quick. Like a lot of people don't see this, but Quentin Williams gets off that ball pretty quick, and that's dangerous for a guy that big. So I mean, great job, Quentin Williams, of just getting to Dallas and going to get a 1.5 piece. I mean, you hungry? That's all I can say. You
Mhm.
hungry, man? Keep going. Good job.
Yes, sir. It's so true because people look at him as this great run defender and they talk about that a lot, but not enough people recognize how quick he is off the line, how quick he is to get his hands onto those offensive linemen and be disruptive as a
Mm-hmm.
pass rusher, soaking in double teams because of his pass
Yeah.
rushing prowess too and opening things up for some of those other guys. That's what he did a lot on the Jets, but now getting home here with Dallas and watching those clips from that game where he got that sack and a half, both of those just perfectly attacking the outside shoulder on the
Mm-hmm.
offensive lineman and then getting a little low and ripping right on by. That rip
Right
move
on
that
by.
Quinn Williams does, it's
Dangerous.
deadly.
Mm-hmm. And he's a big boy. He's not little at all. So
Yeah,
I think that's another thing that people don't really harp on as much. He's a big guy. He's not small. So moving at that size, being able to move with that quickness is dangerous. So great job, Quentin Williams, on being successful this week.
for sure. And then we're going to go ahead to our two-piece guys now. Number one, we're going to start with Jaquan McMillan. This is the second week in a row that we've had a safety put up double sacks. And this time it's going to be Jaquan McMillan with the Denver Broncos. Got home and sacked
So
Patrick Mahomes twice. Patrick Mahomes, one of the toughest quarterbacks to sack. He's really good at avoiding pressure. But
facts.
McMillan coming off the blitz, disrupting the game, that's pretty special when you've got a safety getting 2 sacks in a game.
So Anthony, that's been something dope on our show that we're realizing now. The NFL is going to a lot of safety blitzes,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're starting to highlight the edge safety. You know, is they coming like C.J. Gardner, like guys like this is they blitz so good. It's just like having a great defensive end. That's what it is. It equals out to that. So now we're starting to see what's being more effective than linebackers is blitzing your safeties now, and these safeties are getting multiple sacks. I mean, they're getting 2 and 3 sacks in the game is unheard of. I mean, the edge is not even doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So for a safety to get multiple sacks in the game, that's something that you got to keep your eye on and watch and see the evolving of the NFL and how they're blitzing and how they're deciding to get to the quarterback. They're using everybody they could use now, and now they're mostly using safeties a lot now. So you'll be seeing most safeties on our show just getting sacks. You know, it's part of it now. They're part of the rush. You know, and I'm seeing that on a lot of defenses this year.
Yeah. And for McMillan, that was his third sack of the season after the 2 that he got. That's a new career high for him. So
Wow.
when you got a safety with 3 sacks on the season, the other one that he had was a few weeks ago versus Tennessee, strip sack to win the game.
Wow.
So
Wow.
those sacks that he's putting together, they're big ones. They are implementing or kind of changing the game and sealing the game for the Denver Broncos, who are a really good team this year. And to add on to it, McMillan also had an interception this week. So not only did he have the 2 sacks, he
Wow.
also picked off Patrick Mahomes. That's a
That's
pretty
a
good
pretty
game.
good. See what I'm saying? It's evolving, man. The game is evolving. You know, you're starting to see these safeties do more than just being coverage. And they coming, they blitzing, and they making
Mhm.
plays. So, man, shots out to McMillan, man. That's big. That's huge.
Yes, sir. Next man up with 2 sacks this week. Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
know it.
Yes,
Spider
sir.
Brian Burns with 2 sacks
Yes,
versus
sir.
the Green Bay Packers.
Yes,
And now
sir.
he's got 13 on the year. That's a new career
Wow.
high for the man Spider Burns.
Wow, man. Good job, Spider Man. This week was crazy because those sacks was pure effort sacks. The first sack, we had to fight through a chip, a long chip off the tight end, stayed on him forever. Then he had to tackle to get through. But being that he had a plan, knowing that he had a chip move, uh, the best thing to do is go speed to power on your tackle because you're already getting chipped. So the quickest way to the quarterback is either through the lineman or inside of the lineman. So he decided to go through the lineman, and the lineman ended up tripping the quarterback up. Quarterback fall on the ground, sack. You know, and then the next one, Brian was in quick pursuit of Jordan Love, and Jordan Love, you know, sometimes the football gods they will bless you, and he just laid on down for Spider, and that was probably the easiest sack in Spider's life. So we walked out of there with 2 sacks, but that was amazing. Just to like I said, anytime you can get 2 sacks in the NFL game is monumental, it's big, and anytime you can get more than two is the greatest thing that can happen as a defensive end edge rusher. So good job, Spider, being successful this week, hustling, getting to the ball and being around the ball. That's another way to affect the game and another way to
Hmm.
get sacks. It's all kind of ways to get them. So and then you have to be smart. If a quarterback running and he falls on the ground and he's not past the line of scrimmage, you touch him, you got a sack. So you got to know these things when you're playing defensive end. You got to be smart. You got to know if you're chasing a quarterback out of bounds and he's behind the line of scrimmage, that's a sack. So
Hmm.
Sometimes you're not gonna always see the guys physically tackle the quarterback and get him down and get a sack. It's a lot of ways you can get a sack. So, shots out to Spider for getting his sacks off effort this week.
That's right. Pure effort. And I like that you mentioned there might have been an easy sack there on Jordan Love. And some fans might say, well, those were kind of handed to him, but nothing's handed to you in the NFL. And
Mm-hmm.
the number one thing that you got to notice with Brian is how often he is that man to take those cleanup sacks, how often he's at the ball, how often he's at the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. He's constantly surrounding the quarterback. And so when you put yourself in a position where you're winning all your blocks, you're in constant pursuit, you're not giving up on a play, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get some of those sacks. And that's
Good
just a
things happen.
reward for all of
Mm-hmm.
your hard work and effort. And you also mentioned the chips. And I think that's great to mention too, because that's a sign of respect from the other teams. Brian's
Yes,
getting
sir.
chipped a lot now, a lot of doubles, a lot of chips coming his way. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the other team saying, yeah, we respect you because you're a game wrecker. The amount of sacks you put up this season, you're messing up people's offenses and screwing
Mm-hmm.
up their game plans. And that's Brian Burns, man. That's the effort that he plays with. To just be relentless every single rep and get in the face of every single quarterback and constantly be the one to take those cleanup sacks. But also, he earns his sacks himself. So that's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You brought up a great point before we close that one out. Just being around the ball. I don't think people see how much effort that takes. You got to really work your ass off to be around the ball all the time. And when you are around the ball, good things happen. It's
Mm-hmm.
called your reward. This is your reward for busting your ass. That ball pop out, you right there. You know. So good things happen to guys who hustle to the ball. So that was a lesson in defensive ends this week. You hustle, you work your butt off hard. You never know, the sack could just fall in your lap. So that's
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 right.
one of those things about getting sacks, man. It's really out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest,
Yep.
some guys can get there really quick and be in full control of it, but it's not realistic.
Yeah. Control what you can control, and then the rest will fall into place. That's how I like to look at it.
Greatly
Last
said.
last guy we're gonna look at here. 4 sacks this week from Myles Garrett. I mean, he's just next level, bro.
What's going
He's
on, bro? What is going on with this guy, bro?
it's funny because we always say it's hard to get a sack in the NFL. It's hard enough to get multiple sacks in a game. It's really hard if you can ever get a 4 sack performance, let
Oh,
alone two of them in the same
oh,
season. This one being against the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, the toughest quarterback that there probably is to
yes.
bring down. And
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett gets 4 sacks against him. That was absolutely unbelievable. One of the best performances that we've seen all year.
Absolutely unbelievable. The second best performance of the year, and it came from the same person. I
Mm,
mean, first he got 5 sacks against New England. Then he turned around and get Baltimore for 4. That's 9 sacks in a couple of weeks. That's some guy's whole career.
mm,
So what Myles Garrett is doing is just unheard of. He's a big, demanding, physically gifted, talented defensive end. He has Okay, let me put it to you like this, Anthony. He's created. That's a creative player. If you play
mm.
Madden and you go into the creation mode and you create and you put 99s on everything, that's Myles Garrett. I don't know how else to put it to y'all. That's Myles Garrett. And the only way to stop a guy like that is literally having a game plan that you get the ball out in maybe 1 or 2 seconds. You're not looking for home runs. You're looking for a lot of screens, a lot of bootlegs, a lot of running away. That's how you slow down Myles Garrett. You cannot slow him down with chip blocks. You can't slow him down with double teams. You can't scheme. You can't do none of that. All you can do is get the ball out quick and run screens on the outside to your receivers and hope to God they can get up the field. And he don't
Mm-hmm.
kill nobody on the way there. Bro,
That's
I mean
right, though.
I rest my case with Myles Garrett, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He is the best doing it. I got it. I'm not biased at all. I know my brother played the position. But bro, this guy, you know, I will say I'm glad that Spider is in his company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
One of the
that's a
best.
mighty
I know I
company to
was
be in,
long winded on that one, but Myles Garrett deserves that nine
for
sacks in,
sure.
in a couple of weeks. To get a 5 piece and a 4 piece in the same season is almost historic.
Absurd.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yep,
never seen it done before. So you
it's
deserve those
crazy.
flowers on this channel.
Yep. I love the way you break it down too, because you're right. The offense has to change their entire game plan. All their passing scheme, their attack in that
Yes,
regard has to change when you're going up against Myles Garrett. And it's
the
been that
whole
way his
thing.
whole career.
Throw the
It's
whole game plan out. When you playing
yep,
Cleveland, throw your whole offensive game plan out. You base it around Myles Garrett.
exactly. That's
Period.
special. That's
That's
special.
special. It was only one other guy that in my time that I could say I seen do an offensive coordinator like that, and that's Julius Peppers.
Hmm.
I was right there. I seen it. And you're
Yep.
going to structure your offense around slowing him down.
That's amazing company right there. That's for sure.
Come on, bro. Now I'm just
Yep.
telling you what I know. That's facts.
Hmm. Yep.
That's facts. So
Well, we talked a lot
great
about a
job,
lot of
Miles.
special players this week. Myles Garrett, of course, among them, but a lot of sacks this week, a lot of sacks every week. The pass rush has been turned up a notch here in the second
Turn
half of this
up,
NFL season.
man. It's a
Yep.
great time to be following the Successful Podcast, the
Yep.
Sackcess Podcast, because if you want to learn about the position, you want to see and be having these exciting moments during the game, man, you tune in with us, man. We're going to teach you the game. We're going to teach you the edge rusher position. And it's something that's very exciting, man. And I'm glad to have a counterpart running with me and bringing this to you guys, because it's one of the dopest things you can watch as a football fan. You don't have to be a fan of a team. You can just be a fan of these guys, and you can be on multiple TV screens watching and waiting on somebody to get a sack. It's very exciting, y'all. Very, very. I love it.
Me too. We need like a red zone, but it's not for touchdowns and
Straight
offensive plays. We
sacks.
just need straight
Oh,
sacks.
NFL, you hear us, NFL? Come on, man. Come
We
get us. We ready. We
got to
ready
send that
to,
to the higher ups right there.
yeah, we ready to chronicleize all the sacks, catch them for everybody to see.
Hmm.
Hey man, everybody, it's a beautiful thing. Let's appreciate the art together.
For sure. That's what we do here on the Sackcess podcast. So do make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We got plenty of great content coming your way right here on the Sackcess YouTube channel. And do make sure to subscribe to us for the podcast. And we will catch you all on the next one. Have a good one and enjoy watching those sacks this Sunday.
See y'all next week.